book friends, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the final video installment for the Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge this year. I am going to do the last 3 months in this video, so October, November, and December. So yeah, we'll go ahead and jump right on in. Today's November the 7th, and I have the prompt. I didn't bring it with me, but I know it is history for October. So I'm going to pick up this book because I'm in the mood for it, and it's really because of the cover, but The All-American by Susie Finkburner. And isn't that just the cutest cover? I absolutely love this cover. Side note, her shoes, I had some red heels, not with the little strap across, but I did have some red heels growing up as a young teenager in high school, and I kind of kept them through college, but at some point I got rid of them because I felt like they were really dated and red shoes were just at that time bold for me, so I never really got to wear them. But I wish I kept them because I really like this cover and just how it ties in with the dress and everything. So I might put that on a wish list for Christmas or for my next birthday or something. But yeah, anyways, I just love this cover, so it's really drawing me in. So this one is set in 1952 and it talks about baseball. This is an All-American Girls Professional Baseball League that this 16-year-old gets to play for. Anyways, I'm excited to jump right on into this. So that is what I'm going to read for the first part of this morning, and I'll give you some of my reactions for that. For the rest of this day, I found this cool little thing on Pinterest, but it's like a menu kind of where you get to have a themed movie night. And so I found that and I thought it would be really fun to incorporate that with our dinner and movie watching. Anyways, I will catch you guys in another part of this clip. Okay, so I already read 2 chapters of this. I think I'm gonna like this one. You get the first part with the sister, Bertha, who's in high school, and she is really funny to me. Just in her home economics class, she is not a girly girl by all means, and you can see that little bit of tomboyish in there. And she's in her home economics class, and she just is having a hard time making pies and being the good housewife, I guess, that the home economics class is trying to make all the young ladies be. I just thought it was really funny. Just her personality coming out, and she doesn't seem like super like against being a housewife or anything like that. She just realizes like that's not really her strength with baking and stuff. So that's her. And then the second chapter is her younger sister, who's 11, which I think it's around 6th grade, basically like my student's age. And she is a hoot. I think I'm gonna like her too. Granted, I'm only 2 chapters in, but if it's going in this direction, this might be one of my favorites for the month. I'm just saying it, I'm calling it, so we'll see. But I just thought I would pop in and let you know. And so I'm gonna do some more reading, and then I'll come back in later. Okay, so I'm looking a little rough, so ignore the hair. Anyways, I wanted to update you on this book. I am on chapter 15, page 112. That is my dog. He is dealing with allergies. I didn't know dogs could deal with allergies. Anyways, okay, so this story, I am really enjoying it. It's like all the feels. Okay, so 1950s, very much like the setting is there. I like the history, especially talking about the Communist Party, the Red Scare that's going on in America at this time. And they have like, there's little excerpts in here that's kind of like newspaper format, and so that's pretty cool just to see like those little excerpts of like what's going on in the country. And yeah, I'm just loving that part. And so you have two perspectives. I did mention that earlier, between Bertha, which is a teenager, and then her sister Flossie, who is a middle schooler. And so Bertha, she's into baseball, and it just kind of talks about her and her love of the game and teenagery things. Even though it's like her perspective as a teenager, it's not reading like super YA to me. It definitely feels like a little more mature. It's not a lot of those I don't know, like those things that I don't really like in my YAs, like so far. So but that's Bertha, and her sister cracks me up. I love Flossie a lot. Flossie does remind me of just like that kid sister, but she is going through her middle school years, struggling with finding who she is, trying to fit in. Then she acts like she doesn't want friends, but yeah, she loves to read, and we don't really see much of the two girls interacting with each other. We're just kind of getting still that build up of like who they are and how they're growing up. And so definitely Flossie, she is being babied a lot, and she wants to prove that she's grown up. And so she does act out a little bit more, trying to get seen and known. And I really actually want to finish it, but my husband is getting dinner. We're going to have fish and chips. In fact, he just got home, I can hear him. So we're gonna have fried catfish and French fries. He brought root beer, and then we're gonna pop in the Great Mouse Detective and have for dessert the cheese crumpets with tea. So I'm so excited. If I don't come back in tonight, I will definitely come in tomorrow because I will definitely be reading this book later this evening. So, all right, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Good morning. It is the next day, so it is Saturday, and I did show you some clips that what we did last night for date night. So let me go ahead and talk about that real quick before I kind of jump into the book. But last night we did have a wonderful evening with our fish and chips. We found a good place called Mason's, and I'm not sure if that's like a really known chain of fried seafood or not, but it was new to us, so we had some of that. It was good. To me, it was a little salty, but my husband thought it was perfect. But he also, I think, needed more salt because he kind of finished battling a cold, and so to him it didn't taste as salty. At least that was my guess, because I was like, okay, I could only eat so much of it, but it was still really good. I haven't had fried fish in forever, I feel. So we watched The Great Mouse Detective, and I remembered a lot of the movie, and it was just fun to re-see these movies from my past and his past. And then for dessert, we made those cheese crumpets, which did not look good at all. They didn't look like what the recipe had, but I also used, I think I had to get like a popover pan. I've never heard of those before, but I used a muffin tin pan and some baking cups that I had. So by the time, you know, we got to the crumpets, they were actually sitting out for a while, and it had like a rubbery texture to it. So it wasn't the greatest. I ate like half of mine, but I really like sweet bread with my tea. So having a savory thing with my tea was kind of off-putting to me. So anyways, but I'm glad we made it. I'm glad I gave it a try though. It was fun to recreate something from the film. So I don't know if this is a recipe we're gonna keep, but even my husband wasn't the hugest fan of it, but you know, it was still fun nonetheless. And then we got root beer. So I haven't had root beer in a while. It's usually not my drink of choice. It's my husband's drink of choice besides Coke. But I'm usually a water or like hot tea in the evening person, coffee in the morning, but I kind of gave up a lot of like the sugary drinks just for my own health journey. So that was last night, and then I read more of this book. So I am on page 181, so not quite halfway through. This is the large print. So the large print has over 430 pages. So I'm almost halfway through it. I still am enjoying the book. Bertha or Bert, it came out that her father had some dealings in the Communist Party, and that is affecting her. It actually affects her sister too, but for Bert, she definitely is struggling. You're seeing the effects of this has on her. And then Flossie, the little girl, she gets picked on at school. I think she is in middle school. I believe I said she was 11. She seems younger in how she reacts to certain things, but she, you know, maybe she's like a more immature 11. But yeah, how she handles things or how she perceives things is definitely through like an innocent outlook on life. And it's just, you feel for these girls, you feel for what they're going through, and you find out other family history that these girls have been through and gone through. And there were some sad moments in there. So yeah, those were my thoughts about the book, and I am hoping to finish it. We will see. But it is currently almost 10 after 9 o'clock. We do have a birthday party that starts at 10 o'clock, and it's about a 15-minute drive away. So I'll just take you along for what we're gonna do. See you guys in a bit. Okay, I just finished dinner, and I don't remember if I came in at one point. I have finished this book. So let's go ahead and talk about this book. So I absolutely loved it. Every bit of it. At one point, I did feel like it was a little slow going to get to the part about Bertha and trying out for the sweet peas and everything. I bet that probably didn't happen till maybe about the halfway mark right here. So I was kind of waiting for that part of the story, but you know, when we got there, it was good. So I mean, the whole story was good, but yeah, that was just my little quip. But I absolutely loved the sister dynamic. I love this family a lot. Flossie is one of my favorite characters in this book. I love seeing her grow, and yeah, she's an avid reader, so it was kind of cool to see some of the books that she was reading. Some that may not have been appropriate for her at the time, but she is such a romantic in this book at such a young age too. Um, but yeah, some of the books she was reading, I was thinking back and saying, "Oh, I didn't know that came out during, you know, the 1950s or earlier. Like, I didn't realize how old The Hobbit was." So, and like some other books she was reading too. And some other books I realized, wow, I haven't read that book. So, um, they did talk about the endings to those, but it's okay. I didn't mind getting spoiled a little for them. But yeah, but for a book that deals with baseball, which I don't know if I mentioned, I'm not a big sports fan. Nowadays, I feel like that's all you hear is the drama. So I'm definitely not like into sports as much anymore. But out of all the sports, baseball was probably my least favorite. That or hockey. It was just something I never really got into. Like football was big at our house, and what's it called? And then basketball when I started dating my husband. But anyways, I digress. So reading this book about baseball was interesting to me, especially seeing how that was happening with the girls' league during the time where communism is running rampant in the world, and so the Red Scare is, you know, mentioned in here, and I just thought it was just a unique look at history. I would say that if you are not a sports person like me, you may still enjoy this book because I didn't feel like it got too technical. I was still in it for the story. I liked like reading about these women and what they went through. Most of this story is centered around this family and what they went through, not so much like over this American League, like women's baseball team, if that makes sense. So definitely there was a turn in the book I did not see coming, and still thinking about it, but I think this is an easy 5-star read for me. I'm definitely going to read more from this author. And yeah, that's all I have to say about the book. I feel like my thoughts are a lot jumbled up because I literally got done with that book maybe like 15 minutes ago. So yeah. All right, for November's prompt is food, and so I'm just gonna go literal with food on the cover, and I'm going to read Gather and Give by Amy Hannon. This is sharing God's heart through everyday hospitality. As you can see, there is bread here and there are carrots here, and so that's a really beautiful cover in my opinion. So this is basically a nonfiction that is about 180 pages long, and it's about hospitality. So even though this is a short book, it might take me just as long to read it because I usually take my nonfiction slow. I like to tab or highlight. I do plan on reading this tonight. It is a little after 6:30, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break from reading right now. I'm going to sketch a little bit for my memory keeping journal for December. And then I'll pick this back up and just kind of read through it. And then I'll probably won't come back until tomorrow afternoon because tomorrow is church. And I don't know if I will have time in the morning to film a little bit, but if I do, I'll come in the morning before we go to church. But if not, I will definitely come afterwards and I'll tell you my initial thoughts on this book. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out for tonight, but I will see you guys tomorrow at some point. Okay, good afternoon. It is close to 3 o'clock p.m. on Sunday. So we went to church this morning, and right afterwards we ate out at Chili's, and now we're home. It's freezing right now. We are experiencing temperature drops today and tonight, and then we should be getting back up into the 70s this week. So it is typical Texan weather for us right now. Last night I did read about half a chapter of this, and then I read the other half when I got home, and so I'm about on page 21, which is chapter 2. So I am liking it so far. I have highlighted a few things in here, and it's just basically introduction, like why she really believes that hospitality is important and is actually a command in the Bible. And, you know, she's laying out the groundwork. There are some cool recipes in here. I've tabbed the first one. So I am hoping to make some of these. Since she's laying out the groundwork, I feel like there's a lot of like repetitiveness in it, but that could just be because, you know, she's laying out the groundwork. So when I start reading more into the chapters, I'll see like if that kind of continues or not. But yeah, that is my goal, is to get halfway through the book, but we shall see. But I'll see you later tonight at one point. Good morning. It is November the 10th, so it is a Monday, and it is finally fall because we have now had cooler weather. I mean, granted, it's going to go back up into the 70s, but I have my nice sweater on, and it's actually a little warm in the house, but I'm about to head out to go and pick up some groceries. So first and foremost, I am so sorry that I did not come in. I had every intention to come in last night, but we ended up going to my sister's house. Anyways, I wanted to apologize for that. But yes, so I did read a little more in this book. I'm on page 56, so into chapter 4. It's good. It's got, you know, some great insight to like the Bible and hospitality, and how hospitality is a command instead of like a gifting that only a few people have. It's kind of one of those commands where we need to exercise, like evangelism. There are people who do have that extra gifting in evangelism, but it is a command for us to you know, share our testimony, and that is a form of evangelism. And anyways, it's got some good thoughts to it. Kind of all I have to say about it. Today we are having my grandmother over at my house, and we're going to do afternoon tea. I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, it is almost 8 o'clock, and I have finished the book, but I'm going to tell you my thoughts about it tomorrow because I am pretty tired. I mean, that's technically the end of the book. The ending has like a handbook and stuff, but I'll talk more about that tomorrow. I do plan on reading a little bit more, like the handbook section, so I can get a feel of what that section is really about. But yeah, I just thought I would come in and just sign off for the day. I will see you guys at some point tomorrow, where I will give you thoughts on this book, and I will pick my last read for this vlog. Okay, so we just got back from work maybe about 15 minutes ago, and I had to change into a warmer outfit. It never really got up into the 70s, so it's still like 60s, which to me is pretty cold. But our house is just very drafty, I feel, so it gets like extremely cold in here, which we're gonna have someone come in and look at our air ducts, because of just we've noticed every winter it just gets really cold, like an icebox in here. So Anyways, I did want to talk to you about this book. I technically have this much left in the book, oops, which basically is just notes, and the part I'm on is called Tales from the Table, which are like little testimonials from people who have shown hospitality or have been shown hospitality. And so I'm just kind of reading a little bit through those sections and stuff. So but yeah, as you can see, I have tabbed some. So like the green tab, those are the ones that are recipes that I personally want to try at one point. And then this little elusive orange tag is the start of like a hospitality handbook. And so it kind of gives you like tips for hospitality and general gathering supplies to keep stock and last minute guests tips for feeding them, so little things like that. Okay, so I did like the second part of this book a lot better than the first part. I felt like the first part, it felt like there was nothing like groundbreaking, and then when we got to the middle, there were some new things that stood out to me. I did highlight those thoughts and stuff, but I will say that out of the lot of nonfiction books that I have read, because I do like nonfiction, I wouldn't say this is the most groundbreaking one. It's not a bad book by all means. I just felt like, for me personally, there were some other books that I liked better, just because it felt like, I don't know, it just, they were the first ones that I've read, and so I just felt like this was kind of like a good like summary of some of the things that I already knew. But there were some things here that you know, that jumped out at me, and I did learn something new. But I'm glad that I read it though, because it was on my birthday wish list. So that was for November's prompt, and now we're finally at the end. So December is frosty. So I have The Bridge by Karen Kingsbury. This is on my TBR for the month, and this one, I mean, to me, it has like that Christmas feel, and so I feel like there's snow and it's cold, and you know, there's like frost on the windows. But there's that. So I'm gonna go off, and I will see you guys hopefully before I go over to my sister's house, because I know I will not film when I come back. So I will try to come in right before then. All right, I'll talk to you in the next clip. I have only gotten to chapter 1. So let's talk about it. I already have thoughts. So I am not sure if I'm gonna like this book. Already in chapter 1, you know, you meet one of the people here. You meet Molly first. She talks about like every year she watches this video, and it's a video that Ryan Kelly, the guy who she fell for, he made. And so she's kind of giving you glimpse of her past when they first met and everything. And so far it was like, okay, kind of cute. And then literally the 2 pages before you get into chapter 2, well, he drops a bomb on her, basically saying he's got a girlfriend. That's in chapter 1. I'm sorry if that's a little spoilery, but that is something that I don't really like in my books, and that's why I kind of shy away from romance, or I just find that I just kind of have an issue with in my reading. They're just friends, but they're hanging a lot out. They're hanging with each other a lot, and even to where they're like secretly hanging out with each other. I might still read it because I just feel like I should give it a chance. But I will tell you right now, I am not very fond of that little thing. And I mean, it's a big thing for me, but yeah. Other than that, I don't really have much to go off with the book. I mean, we're at the bridge. Like, she does bring up what the bridge is, and that is the place where they secretly hang out with each other. She is from this rich family, and basically the father already has her life planned out for her. Then Ryan has a Southern Belle sweetheart, he says, back at home, and essentially it's like they go to the same church. The family has known his family, and so it's like once he gets back, it's kind of understood that he would be a teacher of music and marry her, and her dad's going to give her 2 acres of his land because the dad's a farmer. So I guess they're trying, I guess it's kind of like this forbidden romance kind of deal. So yeah, tomorrow is our students' field trip, and I usually don't work on Wednesdays, but I had volunteered my time to go up and like actually have a group. All right, I'm gonna go off to reading and I'll talk to you guys sometime tomorrow after said field trip. Okay, so it is not Wednesday, it is Thursday. So Wednesday, I had every intention of coming in, but I will be honest with you, I was not feeling up for it. So I did mention that Wednesday we had a field trip, and it was a great time. The kids were great. Yeah, there was some silliness here and there, but they were really good. But when we got home, I nearly just wanted to just crash. I wanted to lay down. I wanted to decompress. I was so tired. I did read though, when I had the brain power to do so. And I'm about right there in the book. So the book, I'm on page 86. All right, so this really did take a turn for the worse for me, sadly. Like I mentioned in the first chapter, you find out one of them has a significant other, and you know, there are feelings that are developing. And so later on in the book, you kind of get more of what's happening with their relationship as it's kind of growing. I felt like I didn't want to continue reading. So it's not a trope that I personally enjoy, especially between two. I don't know if she's a believer, but he definitely is. And he has talked about, you know, his girlfriend and, you know, them being in church together and raised together and everything. So it almost feels like, you know, he should have known better, especially if he was attracted to her. The father gets involved, and then even that form of manipulation, I was kind of rolling my eyes at, and it was just not going to be a book that I felt like I was going to enjoy. I mean, this is only the second book I've read from Karen Kingsbury, and I did like the first one that I've read from her. It's just this one was a miss for me. So I'm not going to finish this book for this prompt, which I don't want to end the vlog there. I want to end the vlog with the book like finished. I have done pretty well not DNFing a book through this series, so I don't want the last one to be a book that I DNF. So I'm just going to pick another book instead. I'm going to pick a children's book. So I'm sorry if that's not something you particularly enjoy, but I do want to make sure that I finish this vlog today. So the children's book that I am picking is a third book in a series, and that is Caleb's Story. So I'll put the picture here, but Caleb's Story, this is the third book in the Sarah Plain and Tall series, and I've just enjoyed this series thus far. So this one you follow the brother Caleb, and he is taking over his sister's journal, from my understanding, and it goes with Frosty because he is bundled up, and it looks like it's set in the winter time, so there's snow on the cover. That's how I'm going to fit it in, and it is helping me finish the series. I think there's 2 more books after this one. So I will see you guys in just a bit. Okay, so it is much later. It is a little after 7, but I did finish Caleb's Story by Patricia McLaughlin, and I really enjoyed this book. I love this family that you're exploring, like the prairie with. Caleb, he definitely has a different kind of style to his writing than his sister, Sarah, Skylar. But yeah, I got emotional at some points in this story. This story does have topics in here that explore forgiveness and anger and other just topics too, but that was like this series is getting more and more emotional to me as it is going on. This is a 5-star read. I absolutely love the book. I love that the audio also had like a Q&A with the author at the end of it, and so you get to hear more about the author's writing process and what inspired her to write the book. Sarah in the first book is the mail order bride, and actually this is a part of the author's history, at least finding out that she had a great grandmother who came from Maine and was a mail order bride. And so I guess that kind of sparked the interest in writing this story. So that was really cool. And yeah, there's not much to say about it except I love the depth of the characters, the depth of the story, and I would highly recommend this series. So that completes my Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge vlog, as well as my series. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. Chantel hasn't come out with her reading challenge. I don't know if she's going to do one next year. I feel like she is. But I'm not sure of what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to vlog it like I did quarterly. I hope you enjoyed the series though, and it has been a fun series. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye guys.